Welcome to episode 3 of the NITRO Does Hockey podcast. I'm your host, NITRO. Today we're going to talk about gear. So, the two hardest parts of getting started in hockey are skating and getting the gear together. Some learn to play programs have gear to lend, or they might have full kits that you can buy, or some sort of a deal with a local gear shop where you can get kind of a whole kit put together for you. You just kind of pick out the sizes and you're good to go. My Learn to Play did not have that. I did get a gear list, very kind of simplistic. I will be sure to type out what my gear list was in the show notes. That's how simple it was. Things like helmet with cage, shoulder pads, elbow pads, gloves, pants. Very simple list like that. No brands, no specific details, which in some way is good because options were in some ways limited. And so not having to have something very specific was maybe good, but also really hard to find anything on the internet. So what I ended up needing to do, and what kind of one of the challenges to starting Learn to Play, was I ended up needing to drive to the store. The kind of the closest store to me is between an hour and a half and 2 hours away, depending on traffic. So definitely one of the challenges is getting to the store. It's a long drive away. Another thing was once I got there, they actually had a pretty good selection, it feels like. I've been to some other gear stores, some have more selection than others. But there really was a lack of women's gear to try on. In fact, I didn't even realize there were like women's hockey pants until I was in my Learn to Play and we were just talking about pants with some of the women in the group, and I realized there were women specific pants. So that's kind of how I learned about women's specific gear. If there is women's specific gear, I think there's a lack of knowledge about women's gear. Like the person at the store didn't mention, hey, these pants, they're big on your waist, but they fit the length of your femur, right? Because they want to make sure that my leg is covered. And so I have to cinch it super tight because I needed a medium length, but like a small waist, and they don't have that. But it was never even mentioned that, hey, maybe a women's pant would work for you. So I didn't even know that those were options. And some of that is just because women in hockey it's not recent. Like there's been women in hockey for a long time, but it's becoming more prominent. And with more women involved and girls getting involved, I think that we'll start to see maybe more women's options in gear stores, but we're not there yet, at least not the one that I went to. And then kind of another challenge with acquiring gear is that it's just in some cases really expensive, especially if you're not sure what you need. You go to a store, you buy it off the rack, you're going based on what they tell you you need. Some people want something that has the most padding, or some people want to be fast and more streamlined. So there's different levels of gear, I guess, based on what your desires are. And those can cost different things. And I don't know that that's always so obvious to people that are new to hockey. So we've got some challenges with acquiring gear. Some options, obviously, are drive that long distance to the store. For some people, my sister lives like 3 miles from a hockey gear store. She's in Colorado. And so I am jealous. Maybe it's better for my wallet that I don't live that close. But for some people, it is a long drive. They get to go to the store. Another option, especially if you live far away, is to order online and send it back if it doesn't work for you. Can be a good option, especially if you just need one thing that you don't want to have to drive like 4 hours round trip for. However, if you have a short time frame and you need some gear, ordering all of it to find out it does or doesn't fit might not be what the time frame is, or even having the time to get it shipped to you might not, there might not be enough time. Also, I really hate packaging stuff up and going to the post office or UPS or FedEx or whatever the mail carrier is and sending it back. I'm also outdoorsy environmental person, so that's a whole other level of just environmental impact, but it's necessary for a lot of people, and so you've got to weigh that for you, and it's in many ways better than driving all the way to the store. So but man, I'm over going to the post office. The other option might be looking for consigned or secondhand gear if you're lucky enough to have something like a Play It Again Sports close to you, or you happen to have a fairly large hockey community where you live. Maybe there's people that have upgraded their gear, or there are some children who are as big as me or bigger, and so maybe they have grown out of gear that might fit me. So maybe there's an option for locally consigned or some sort of gear swap or secondhand gear store might be an option for you. So couple of ideas that I've been like kind of bouncing around in my brain on ways that possible ways we might be able to make getting gear easier. So this is maybe specifically for my area, but I feel like it can be extrapolated to other people's needs. So one might be a couple weeks before Learn to Play, a week or two, maybe host an informational meeting, have alumni from the program, or if people are taking it again, maybe they can come, they can bring their gear. Of course, they can answer questions, they can meet some of the new people so that on the first night it's not as scary because maybe they'll know some people in the Learn to Play. But also, if that alumni brings their gear, then people could maybe try on some of the gear so that then they could take notes about what fit, what the model was, what the size was, and so maybe they could order them online and you wouldn't have to do kind of that back and forth returning because you will have tried something on, been able to order it, and get it shipped to your house. So that is something that I think might really make gear easier for people. Also holding some sort of in-house gear swap or consignment, like I mentioned, a big hockey community or growing hockey community. People outgrow things, people upgrade. Might be a nice opportunity to make some good deals with people on gear and get some money back for gear that I have sitting around that I can then use to buy more gear. And the other thing I would say is remind people in Learn to Play that you can use rental equipment if it's available. Most frequently, it's rental skates. Sometimes also helmets are available for rent. But if you can rent some of your equipment, then that's a way to kind of decrease the immediate capital outlay. So you can get some of the gear and kind of spread out the amount of time in which you need to spend all of that money. And also, if you can rent skates, but you maybe can order some gear online or buy some locally, you can postpone getting skates until you can go somewhere where you can actually get properly fit. They can bake the skates for you. You can try different insoles and kind of that whole thing. So that might be an option for some people. So let's talk about what I took to the store and what I ended up getting. I told you I had a really rudimentary, not rudimentary, just very simple list of things that I needed to get for the first day. When I did all of the adding and all the costs, it was $1,600, $1,637, roughly. I first went to one gear place, got a bunch of things. They didn't have everything that I wanted. That was a 2-hour drive each way. That was on a Saturday. Then on the Sunday, I went to a different gear shop. That was 2 hours in a different direction and got the rest of my stuff. Then ended up returning a few things because I like the one I got in the second place better than the first place. I also picked up some like elbow pads and some other things at a local sporting goods store. So I utilized those instead of the ones I got at the hockey shop. So what did I get? I got insoles for my skates. I got skate guards for my skates. I got a white and a navy practice jersey. I got skates. I got the Bauer Supreme M5 Pro Ice Hockey Skate Intermediate. Also had to buy blades for those. No, the blades did not come with the skates. Some skates they do, some skates they don't. So watch out for that. Also got Bauer Vapor Pro Hockey elbow pads, which I ended up returning just for cost reasons. And let's see. Also got a performance long sleeves top, some hockey tape, clear tape for shins, and white and black for my stick. I got the Shock Doctor compression pant with pelvic protector for women. We call it the Jill. I also got some skate socks. Mentioned I got blades. Also got a garter belt, which I really just used for when I wear leggings for public skate. I wear the Jill. It's got Velcro tabs on it, so I don't need the garter for those. And I wear that whenever there's a puck in play because I want to protect my stuff. So use the garter when I'm just out skating and there's no puck. Also got a mouth guard. Got the CCM Jetspeed FT6 hockey shoulder pads, the juniors, size large. Got a Bauer face mask for my helmet. Picked up some Warrior Covert Pro hockey gloves. Got CCM TAC 720 helmet. CCM Jetspeed FT680 shin guards, juniors. I got a hockey stick, which I ended up rarely using. Turns out I like a longer stick because I play defense. I don't know, I just like it. Also got Bauer Supreme 3S Pro Ice Hockey Pants in intermediate, Bauer Performance Low Skate Socks, and some hockey socks, right? So socks that I wear in the skates, and then the ones that I wear over my shin pads that Velcro to my pants. That's my preferred method. I know some people have like the knit socks and they do different things with it. You do you. I'm just telling you what I do. So that is the list. Again, that ended up being about $1,600, maybe a little bit more. I also had like some coupons and some rewards because I shopped multiple times. It's all good. So that was all at one store. I bought everything new. That was really the only option I had based on the time frame that I had, and so that's and my knowledge of gear. So that's what we went with. Places that you might look for gear. If you're looking for used gear, you can go to a Play It Again Sports. I would go used if I've never bought gear before, if I could try it on and see it and feel it. That's just the kind of shopper I am. So that would be one option. Also, some National Hockey League and American Hockey League teams have end of season sales, so you might be able to pick up some good stuff there. There's also a website called Sideline Swap that people can sell hockey gear on. So, and you can also post hockey gear on that. So if you have some that you would like to get out and sell, that's an option. Also, moms groups or other local hockey groups on Facebook or the social media of your choice where there might be an opportunity to pick up some used gear or to sell some used gear. Other local hockey enthusiasts, people within the Learn to Play group, maybe somebody has some gear that they could even loan you until you can get there to get some gear. And I would definitely ask the person who runs your Learn to Play, and or if there's an adult league where you are, if they know of anyone looking to sell some gear. We've had a few situations where people realized it wasn't for them. We had a situation where somebody sustained an injury that was not going to let them participate in hockey anymore, and so they were looking to sell their gear. And so sometimes somebody running the program might have that information. So I hope you found this interesting and helpful. Some suggestions about how to acquire gear, the gear that I had, a little bit of pricing so that you have an idea of how much it could cost. I went like mid-range with my gear. There was probably some cheaper gear. There was more expensive gear for sure. I've upgraded a few pieces since then. But hopefully this gives you some idea of what you might be getting into. If you have questions, please find me on social media, message me, email me. I'm happy to try to answer them. I'm not a gearhead, but certainly happy to do the best that I can. This is Nitro signing off. Until next time.